So it's as I'm sitting here that I realize I really need to remind myself to keep taking notes. I also didn't do any homework, but that's fine because we're just gonna be cruising through anyway. For the most part, as we see Herald Exquisite Taste, for the most part, I should know what I'm doing. I shouldn't really need to do that much more homework, although it would help out immensely 25% of the time, and if even that much. But hey, Exquisite Taste Herald, if I recall, with random item stats, but yeah, let's just get into the run. So for the timestamp's sake, as always, I like to hold off on saying things. So as we get into Herald Exquisite Taste random item stats custom character once more, this character is pretty good in all aspects. So knowledge, charisma. I was gonna say some more, but I need to go through this. Takushi-san, second encounter, dexterity, maybe a light check, but yeah, just both in gameplay and in. Well, I was going to say something else. Lore, I guess. That's what I was going to say. Something along those lines. I forgot what the exact phrase, because I was trying to focus on whether or not I wanted to keep a legal den with Exquisite Taste, because I won't be able to prepare. So, I guess that's the thing we can talk about in terms of World of Horror strategy. I know I may have mentioned it before, but just to make sure I've mentioned it. On Exquisite Taste, in my opinion, you usually want to take rest. Having rest is usually going to do you a lot better than taking prepare, unless you have a very combat-focused character that has a good prepare option, whether it's a custom character or not. In this case, it would usually be Haru and Aiko. Haru can kind of still skip out on it, but Aiko definitely wants the plush toy. And she can hold she can hold her own in encounters. Haru does the same, but you're still trading rest for cigarette uses, which in my experience is 50-50, but I would still take prepare as Haru and Aiko, but otherwise you take rest. Coma, Hell, Mermaids, Shuttle, and Goal. Well, 2 boss encounters, question mark? I mean, technically Mermaids is, but you can quote-unquote skip it and take burns, which is usually to your benefit. If we're looking at just straight strategy. If you want to immerse yourself, go ahead and fight the Mad Janitor all the time in the world that you want. Yeah, with that said, let's take Mermaids first. We do have Ancestral Strength, but we still need a weapon. So, let's sell these notes. Just making sure they sell. On a random item stat run, you want to make sure that your items sell for money. Otherwise, you might as well hold it and either throw the item if you can throw it, or throw it away in a mystery like ramen, or more importantly, sailors, for more experience, if nothing else. But sometimes you want to, if you're on timeline B, obviously you want, or not obviously, sometimes we can get 3 of Kumis. You can do things. For giggles, I'll just take a Kumi. I was gonna roll anyway. Yeah, I thought I was on 7th Curse for a moment for some reason, but oh my goodness, we'll take Kyoko as well. I could just make this into a kick run. Yeah, let's just make this a kick run then. 10 Doom for that is pretty cool. If I knew that, I shouldn't have taken the tree funds, but we're already here, so yeah, let's move on. So let me just strategize a bit longer before I go off topic. I'm just gonna do village. I should probably have set the hospital, but we'll just stick with one or the other. I don't remember at the moment, and even if I did, it wouldn't really do me that much good. So we have at least 2 damage increases. And if we can go to Katana Land, maybe we get good things as we roll a 10 on Charisma, so I don't really care that my Charisma's 3, but yeah, I was a short little thing. I didn't do the research I wanted to do. I was held up, well, I was still doing research, but I got tangented because I was doing something specifically for Little Kitten. That's the game I'm developing, for those who don't know. And it particularly pertains to basically what we have on the market right now. I mean, I guess I can explain. It's not really that secret. But basically, you don't want to, in my opinion as a game developer, you don't want to saturate the market. You don't want to fill the market up with the same genre of content. In my case, it would be story. But at the same time, that's not to say that a very good writer, game developer, designer can't... We'll take the Doom here, by the way. Yeah, we'll take the Doom here, by the way. Can't just do anything they want. You know, we have a lot of isekai stories. That's not to say you can't make an isekai story if you are either confident or you just have the ability to do so and you don't care about anything. But I don't consider myself a master at any of those things, so therefore I take a look at the market and see what basically supply and demand looks like. If there's a lot of supply for, say, isekai, well, you keep using isekai here, then I probably don't want to put out an isekai story. That being said, I do like breaking the fourth wall anyway, or going meta. But that being said, but because of that, I want to be very careful, which means, so to rewind back, the reason why I was doing, I kind of snapped back on my research to do more research or other research is because I wanted to see how, what's the word? Exhausted, I guess, players, viewers, or the audience is in general of basically fourth wall breaking type content, whether it's stories, characters, or so on and so forth. Again, that's not to say you can't just break out and do well on your own, no matter how saturated or filled the market is with, say, sci-fi stories, fantasy, so on and so forth. In fact, in my opinion, I would say that we don't have enough of even things that people consider. Wow, that was 6-2, by the way. Consider to be tired of, but again, I don't. In terms of writing a story specifically, I don't foresee anything amazing. Although, that being said, I haven't put out anything yet commercially, so there's no way for me to really quantify my own thoughts. But predicting things, I think, is still a good skill to do. So, might as well get another way to say to explain my conundrum, my problem is. Now I forgot what I was gonna say because I was looking. We have a bunch of bonus damage, and I don't think we've run into a single enemy yet. By the way. Which means we're gonna... Oh, we don't have the monument. Well, cross our fingers and hope we don't die. So, yeah. What I was gonna say? I'm trying to remember what I was gonna say. I'll at least rewind back and continue talking about what I was saying earlier. But yeah, predicting things I think is an important thing. You might as well... Another way to say it is I might as well do my best to put the odds in my favor. Now, the downside to this is if I am deliberating too much where it steers me off track, which is kind of what I've been doing for the past month or so. So I really just need to get to work, but there's another side of it. I'm forgetting what I was going to say. By the way, missed that. That was pretty much a coin flip, by the way. It was better than coin flip, but 90% 3 times in a row. Hitting all 3 of those is about a 73.2% chance. I can't remember. I always remember. The calculation you need to do is 90% to the 3rd power. So 90% times or 0.9 times 0.9 times 0.9. 9.9. 0.9 times 0.9 is 81. I might as well do this because I'm not doing anything else that's interesting at the moment. Is 0.81. 0.81. 90% of 0.81 is 72.8. I'm going crazy. Oh my goodness, my brain. I'm getting older. We can just do prep kick here. Prep kick here, by the way. Not ally attack kick, prep kick. 90%, so 73. Yeah, 72.9%. Why do I always think it's 73.2%? Anywho, but yeah, it's 70% is close enough to a coin flip to me. That's not theoretically correct, but please just believe me. Another way to explain my conundrum with this RNG, and I don't want to keep talking about RNG, but it's always relevant, is that yeah, we'll take Coma last. Another way to say my 50-50 situation is that I'm just gonna bet that I'm the part of the 30% or whatever is left remaining after 72.8%. So, shrug, right? Yeah, that's all I have to say. Another little World of Horror deliberation to think about here is that you could use a fast weapon as well. The only problem with using a fast weapon over kicks in a run where you have a bunch of damage is that your accuracy... This was a success. Oh my goodness. Well, I'm taking Doom damage, but this is better than running. I should be able to 2-tap this encounter. Well, I guess we'll see. It's 50-50. But yeah, another way to say it is that I'm assuming I have bad luck, because 30%... Just overall, and this is theoretically correct, overall, I mean, let's assume it's 70%. 70% chance of hitting 3 kicks at 90%, but there will be... that means 30% of people who take that chance are going to miss it, so... Am I following on a fallacy here? Am I going crazy? I don't think I am, right? Anywho. Nothing here is good for me, so we just continue increasing strength. I forgot my second encounter, and off we go. That could have been my second encounter, by the way. Why do I not remember? I think it was actually the... No, I don't remember. I'm just... Let's not fool ourselves. We get hallucinations, but it doesn't matter. And yeah, so basically, I might do research for one more day, but then I go back. In either case, I mean, it's been more than a few days now, which is not good for me. But Yeah, I do need to do some more research before I want to continue on. And if nothing else, it gives me time to kind of step back and think about, or kind of sit on what I've completed up to this point. Because I mentioned that the game is going to be 7 days long. I might not even do that. But I guess we'll find out. I guess the good thing is, and I mentioned this before, but I'm also of the Book of Gore. I'm also of the opinion that you shouldn't really sneak preview or release trailers unless you have a product that you are basically working on, and more effective or practically, you should have a complete. You've completed to some extent. For example, the trailer I put for Little Kitten are things that are already in game, so I'm not showing you basically what you could do, and it's not a bad thing to do. But if I'm doing things myself, I would not want to just make, basically in terms of RPG Maker, I would not want to make a map and an event just for the sole purpose of making a trailer. I might do that at times, but that would only be times when I would do that would only be if I have completed something in its entirety, basically, or I'm near enough completion where it doesn't matter. Now, you have to be careful with that, because you can say you're close to completing a game and actually be not as close as you actually want to be. Also, we need to put the police patrols in this hospital here, otherwise we're going to take extra doom. But again, any previews I've shown you of Little Kitten are basically things that are already going to be in game anyway. But if I talk about something, it is supposed to be things I wanted people to know, but that doesn't mean I can't go back on it for good reason. Basically, and I'm not saying that my words are unreliable. They can be at times, though, if we're even just looking at my channel here, where I've gotten things wrong before. But, ooh, do I want to eat this in face? We can't spend any more doom, so we have to. But things are subject to change. That's the best phrase I can use. But a lot of the time, I feel like what I'm saying is usually going to be for the what's going to actually happen. We actually have to run from this. Do I? We have Book of Gore, but here's where I mean, I have funds here, but unless I can brace, which I can't. Yeah, that brace nerf actually hurting me here, but we don't have anything else we can do. We can sever kick. That's interesting. But yeah, without further ado, I think we just take the stamina damage to the face. We have Book of Gore. We can't spend any more doom, otherwise we risk losing the run at the lighthouse. And again, we have Book of Gore to heal. Time skip, on the other hand, is a completely different thing. Now, that was a little unlucky. Yeah, I think you go over half of the town effects over the course of a whole run, right? Actually, are we on Herald, by the way? No. Yes? Yeah, I think we are, actually. Okay, yeah, we are. That's why we have so many town effects. Yeah, so if you have Herald, I think you're definitely taking over half of the available town effects in World of Horror. But anywho, let's just walk forward. Basically, I need to do all my Doom checks correctly. Is Toxics on first? I guess we're gonna find out. Either way... So we unfortunately healed stamina here at Toxic-san. The good news is that we can still handcuff. The bad news is, yeah, if we had Desperate Struggle here, I think we would have been perfectly fine. I don't think there's anything else we can do here. So I should have actually leveled up because I've had Book of Gore, but let's hope we hit all three of these. And I used the handcuff track correctly. Okay, good. Never mind, he hit me. No! We lost! Well, let's see if we got this right. It wasn't the Grey Seer. I don't even remember anymore. I'm just gonna say Screaming Man. It was not right anyway. Well, without further ado, that's all I have to say. If you want to hear me talk about something, let me know in the comment section below before we go to the next video.